You get what you want when you do what's required. That's the truth. Most people want something, but they don't act like it. They talk about changing their life, but their habits stay the same. They say they want success, but they keep wasting time. That's why they never get what they want. Life doesn't respond to words, it responds to action. So ask yourself this: are you living like someone who's ready? Or are you just hoping things will get better on their own? Because nothing changes until you take full control. Your future won't show up because you wish for it. It shows up when you work for it daily. In this video, we will break it all down. How real people get what they want. No tricks, no secrets, just straight, simple, powerful truths. If you're serious about changing your life, stay with me. This might be the most important message you hear today. Number one, use pain as a reason, not an excuse. You want to know how to get whatever you want, then understand this then is not your enemy. It's not something to run from. It's not something to cry about. It's something to use. Most people use pain as a reason to stop, as an excuse to quit, as a story they tell for why they never made it. But successful people, the ones who actually get what they want, they take that pain and turn it into a reason to keep going. See, life doesn't hand success to people because they want it. Life hands you struggle. It gives you problems. It tests you. And pain is one of the tools life uses to see how serious you are. You say you want something, then show it. Show it when your heart is tired. Show it when the money's not there. Show it when people walk away from you. That's when it counts. Most people want the reward, but they don't want the pressure. They want the comfort, but they don't want the process. But here's the truth. You only grow when you're uncomfortable. You only grow when something hurts enough that you have no choice but to change. That's when life sees what you're made of. That's when the difference is made between the people who just talk and the people who show up. I've seen people use pain as a permanent identity. Something bad happened and they hold on to it for years. They wear it like a name tag. I didn't get support. I failed before people hurt me. They stay stuck in the story and they keep telling it like it just happened yesterday. That doesn't lead to growth, that leads to being frozen. But the ones who use pain as a reason, they say, that happened, yes, but it won't define me. They take that fire and use it to build something stronger. It's not easy. I know when you're in pain, everything feels heavier. You don't want to move. You don't want to try again. But that's exactly the moment where your decision matters most. That's the moment where your future gets built. Not when you're feeling good, but when you're at your lowest. That's the moment you decide, I'm going to use this. I'm not going to waste it. When people wrong you, when life hits you, when things break down, that's your material. That's what you work with. You take the pain and say, this is fuel. And you don't say it out loud to impress anybody. You prove it by what you do next. You stay consistent. You show discipline. You keep your head down and your work up. Some people think pain is a signal to slow down, but it can be a signal to wake up, to change something, to finally take control of your life. Instead of just watching it happen, you're not meant to stay stuck in what hurt you. You're supposed to rise from it and build a better story. People will try to talk you out of your goals because they don't see the pain you've lived through. They don't understand what you're carrying, but that's okay. They don't have to. It's not for them to understand. It's for you to use if you've been through heartbreak, through failure, through being counted out. Use it. Let it remind you how far you've come. Let it make you stronger than the ones who've had it easy. You don't get stronger in the good times. You get stronger in the hard ones. You have to stop using pain as a pause button. Stop letting it slow you down. Start using it as your reason to go all in. You've already been through the worst parts. You already survived. What tried to break you? Why not turn it into something powerful? Why not take that struggle and make it mean something? People who win at life don't live pain-free lives. They just respond differently. They say this isn't fair, but I'm not giving in. They say this hurts, but I'm still going to work. That's the mindset that gets results. That's what separates the ones who make it from the ones who always fall short. You can either let pain become your wall or your motivation. You choose. If you keep repeating the same excuses, if you keep explaining why things are hard, then you're feeding the problem. But if you wake up and decide, I'm tired of being tired, then you've just taken the first step toward everything you want. And make no mistake, you are allowed to want more. You're allowed to want freedom. You're allowed to want success. You're allowed to build a life that's better than what you were born into. But you don't get there by waiting. You get there by moving through pain. You get there by refusing to stop when it hurts. Think about the people you admire, the ones who changed their lives. They didn't have perfect conditions. Most of them had worse conditions than you, but they made a decision, a real one, and they never went back. You don't need more motivation. You need a reason, a real reason that means something to you. And pain can be that reason. If you stop letting it control you, don't waste your pain. Use it to build your character. Use it to tighten your focus. Use it to set boundaries. Raise your standards and take yourself seriously. Pain should not leave you the same. It should make you stronger, sharper, and more determined. There is no shortcut. If you want something, you'll have to pay the price. And sometimes the price is emotional. Sometimes it's mental. Sometimes it's lonely. But if you refuse to break, if you use every hit as a reason to rise, then you become someone who can't be stopped. So ask yourself right now, is your pain going to be your excuse or your reason? Because that choice will determine where your life goes next. Number 2, ignore opinions and trust your own direction. Most people never get what they want because they listen too much to other people. They worry about what others think. They wait for approval. They doubt their own choices because someone else had a different opinion. But the truth is this: if you want something real in your life, you have to be willing to go after it without asking for permission. Everyone has something to say, but not everyone is living the life you want. You can't keep putting your future in the hands of people who are afraid to chase their own. Your direction won't always make sense to others. That's fine. It only needs to make sense to you. You're the one living with your choices. You're the one doing the work. You're the one facing the consequences. So you better trust your judgment. Too many people delay their progress because someone questioned their plan. You don't need a crowd behind you to move forward. You just need clarity in your mind and strength in your steps. That's what gets you what you want. Opinions are cheap. They're everywhere. People will tell you what's safe, what's easy, what's popular. But rarely will they tell you to take risks, to believe in your own path, to stick with what you feel deep inside. That's your job. That's your responsibility. If you let every voice shake your focus, you'll never reach your goal. If you want to move forward, you must build the habit of listening to yourself more than others. That's how confidence is built, by acting on your own thoughts. There are people in your life who mean well, but speak from fear. They think they're helping you by warning you or doubting you, but most of the time, they're just projecting their own limitations. That's why you can't base your direction on their opinions. If you want something different, you'll have to do things differently. You'll have to take steps others are too afraid to take. That's where growth happens, when you stop explaining and start walking your own road. No matter who questions it, it's not easy to shut out noise, especially when it's coming from people you care about. But if you always listen to them instead of yourself, you'll lose track of your own vision. And that's a painful place to be. Waking up years later and realizing you were living someone else's plan. You owe it to yourself to build a life that reflects your values, not their doubts. This doesn't mean you become arrogant. It means you become responsible for your direction. You take charge of your decisions and live with intention. Every time you ignore your own instincts because of someone else's opinion, you weaken your belief in yourself. That belief is your foundation. Without it, you'll hesitate, you'll second guess. You'll keep asking others what they think instead of listening to what you already know. But the more you practice trusting yourself, the more that belief grows. And once it's strong enough, opinions won't shake you anymore. You'll hear them, but they won't control you. You'll be guided by something stronger, your purpose, your values, your own voice. People who get what they want are not the loudest or the smartest. They're the most committed to their path. They know what they want, and they protect that vision. They're not swayed by critics. They're not chasing approval. They're focused, and that kind of focus makes them unstoppable. You can have that too, but it starts with choosing your own direction and standing by it, even when it's unpopular, even when it's lonely. That's the price of getting what most people never will. You don't have to announce your every move. You don't need to defend your dreams. Let your results speak for themselves. Let your growth do the talking. The people who once doubted you will eventually watch you succeed, not because you argued with them, but because you ignored the noise and kept moving. That's how winners do it. They don't need applause at the beginning. They're focused on finishing what they started. And that focus comes from trusting their own choices more than anyone else's. If you're always waiting for agreement, you'll be waiting forever. People change their minds. They see things differently. That's not your problem. Your job is to stay committed, stay connected to your reason. Stop asking everyone if you're on the right path. If you feel it's right, and if it moves you forward, then keep going. Adjust when necessary, but never let someone's doubt shake your entire direction. That's how people lose years following advice that was never meant for them. You will get what you want when you stop asking for permission to want it. That's the shift. That's when things start changing. You stop explaining yourself. You stop doubting your steps. You take full control of your choices. And you stop giving weight to voices that haven't walked your path. You've got everything you need to move forward already inside you. Now it's time to act like it. Trust yourself. Move forward. Ignore the noise. That's how real progress begins. Number 3, master the skills that make your goal non-negotiable. If you really want to get what you want, you must stop hoping for luck and start mastering the exact skills that get you there. Most people don't lack desire. They lack ability. They want something, but they haven't trained themselves to deserve it. Wanting something doesn't make it yours. You have to earn it by becoming someone who can deliver real value. That's how life works. The people who win are the people who become good at what matters. They invest their time in learning, practicing, and improving until no one can ignore what they bring to the table. There is no shortcut to mastery. It takes hours, it takes repetition, it takes focus, and most of all, it takes hunger. You have to be hungry enough to stay with the process when it's boring. When no one's watching and when progress feels slow. People who achieve what they want aren't waiting to feel ready. They're training every single day. They're building their foundation. They're working behind the scenes while others waste time on distractions. And in the end, it shows. Mastery doesn't lie, it speaks for itself. The ones who have it always rise. Look at anyone who has built something meaningful. You'll find a pattern. They took one thing and they got great at it. They didn't chase everything. They didn't keep switching directions. They chose their goal and asked a simple question: what skills make this possible? Then they went all in on those skills. They didn't wait for motivation. They built habits. They studied, they practiced, they failed, and they kept going. That's how goals go from wishes to plans. When you master the skills, the outcome becomes predictable. You can't treat learning like a side task. It has to be part of your identity if you want something badly enough. You must train like your future depends on it, because it does. You must stop thinking of effort as optional. Effort is the price. You don't get the reward without paying it in full. When you make your growth non-negotiable, you automatically raise your standards. You stop tolerating weak habits. You stop making excuses. You start acting like the person who already has what you're chasing. A goal becomes non-negotiable. When you've built too much skill to fail, that's when people start paying attention. That's when opportunities start coming your way. Not because you begged for them, but because you're now prepared. Skill forces doors open. You don't have to ask for a seat at the table when you bring something. No one else can you become necessary. That's the goal. To make yourself so good at what matters that your presence is not optional. You earn your way forward, step by step. Discipline is what builds skill, not talent, not luck, discipline. The willingness to show up even when you don't feel like it. The decision to stay consistent when no one's clapping for you. That's what separates the people who get what they want from the people who always stay behind. You can't cheat skill. You can't fake repetition. You either do the work or you don't. And if you're not doing the work, you shouldn't expect the reward. It's that simple. Life respects preparation. Think about the people you admire, the ones you watch, read, or follow. They weren't born with what they have. They built it. They practiced when others were distracted. They read when others scrolled. They listened when others talked. They repeated the basics until the basics became automatic. And now what looks easy to you took them years to develop. That's the price of skill. It's paid in hours you'll never see, but once it's paid, it pays back forever. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be good enough that no one can deny your progress. Every day, you should be adding something to your toolbox. One skill, one improvement, one fix. It adds up over time. It changes how you see yourself. You start trusting your ability. You stop feeling like an imposter. You start walking into rooms like you belong there, not because someone told you, but because you know you've earned it. Mastery gives you peace of mind. It gives you control. The reason most people feel stuck is not because they're unlucky. It's because they're not prepared. They're chasing big goals with weak skills. They want success, but haven't done the work to handle it. So even when opportunity shows up, they're not ready to grab it. That's why skill matters. It puts you in position. It makes sure when your moment comes, you're not guessing, you're ready. You don't rise to the level of your dreams, you rise to the level of your preparation. That's what gives your goal weight. You can get whatever you want, but only if you're willing to master what it takes. That means taking your growth seriously. That means setting aside time every day to improve. That means saying no to distractions that don't serve your goal. You can't afford to treat your potential casually. You've got one shot at this life. Make it count. Build the skills that match your dreams. Sharpen them, own them. And when the time comes, you won't have to chase success. It will come looking for you. Number 4, cut out what keeps you lazy and stuck. If you're not getting what you want, there's a reason, and most of the time, that reason is right in front of you. Distractions, comforts, weak habits, and lazy choices that you allow to stay in your life. You don't fall behind overnight. You fall behind by keeping things that slow you down. You can't say you want growth while holding on to the same patterns that keep you stuck. If something makes you waste time, if something kills your energy, if something keeps you unmotivated, it has to go. You can't make room for success without clearing out the waste. Laziness doesn't show up loudly. It creeps in. It starts with small choices, sleeping in a little longer, scrolling when you should be working, saying I'll do it tomorrow when you know you should start now. You don't even notice it at first, but over time those choices build a wall between you and your potential, and soon you're stuck. Not because you're incapable, but because you're surrounded by things that make it easy to stay weak if you want to move forward. You need to cut those things off. No excuses, no second chances. You know exactly what keeps you lazy. You know the people, the habits, The routines, the apps, the thoughts. You don't need someone to point them out. You've seen them waste your time again and again. So now the question is, how much longer are you going to let them stay? Every day, you keep them in your life as another day, you delay your progress. This is about your future. This is about your goals, and you can't protect your comfort and chase growth at the same time. It takes honesty. To face this, you have to admit what's holding you back, and most people don't want to do that. They'd rather lie to themselves. They'd rather pretend they're just tired or not ready. But deep down, they know the truth. They're surrounded by things that make it easy to avoid work. They're stuck in routines that drain their drive, and until they cut those things out, nothing will change. You can buy books, watch videos, write goals, but none of it will matter if your environment keeps you lazy. You can't get strong while protecting your weaknesses. You can't rise while staying in the same cycle. Change starts with removal. You need to remove what wastes your time. You need to remove what makes you soft. You need to remove what makes you soft. You need to remove anything that encourages delay, distraction, or comfort. And no, it won't feel good at first. It will feel uncomfortable. It will feel like something's missing. But that's the space you need to create for discipline, for structure, for focus. And over time, you'll see the change. There is no success without structure. And structure doesn't survive in a lazy environment. If you want to build something great, you need to build a life that supports it. That means protecting your time. That means using your energy wisely. That means saying no to things that others say yes to. You don't have to be better than anyone else. You just have to be better than your old self. And your old self loved distractions. Your old self made excuses. That's the version you need to leave behind permanently. This is not about being perfect. It's about being intentional. Ask yourself, does this help me grow, or does it hold me back? If it holds you back, it has to go. No matter how fun, familiar, or popular it is, you owe it to your future to be disciplined. Now, you can't keep saying someday while surrounding yourself with things that keep you stuck today. The truth is, what you allow will continue. If you allow laziness, it will stay. If you allow weakness, it will grow. But the moment you say enough, everything begins to shift. Think of the hours you've already lost. Think of the energy you've wasted on things that did nothing for your growth. That should make you angry. Not at the world, at the choices, at the patterns, at the laziness you let settle in your life. And if you're serious, that anger will turn into action. You'll start deleting the noise. You'll start waking up earlier. You'll stop negotiating with yourself. You'll stop allowing weakness, and slowly, day by day, the results will come. Not because of luck, but because of discipline. You can't cheat your way to your goals. You have to earn it. And that means getting rid of everything that pulls you in the wrong direction. This is how real change starts. By cutting, removing, and separating yourself from what no longer serves you. It's not easy, it's not fun, but it's necessary if you want what you say you want. Your actions need to match your words. It's time to clean up your environment. It's time to upgrade your habits. It's time to take full control. You'll never reach your highest level until you drop what's holding you down. You can't fly while carrying dead weight. So take a look around. Look at your routine, look at your habits. Look at your circle, and if something makes you lazy, distracted, unmotivated, or stuck, cut it, not later. Now that decision is what separates the ones who talk about their goals from the ones who actually achieve them. This is your life. This is your moment. Clear the space, earn the result, and don't look back. Number 5, keep showing up. Even when results are slow, most people give up too soon. They start something new, get excited, take a few steps. But when the results don't show up quickly, they stop. They lose interest. They tell themselves, maybe it wasn't the right time, or maybe they weren't meant for it. But here's the truth. Results are never instant. Real growth takes time. Real success is slow at the beginning. That's why consistency matters more than speed. You must keep showing up even when the progress is invisible. If you quit just because it's quiet, you'll never know what was waiting on the other side. Nothing meaningful happens overnight. When you plant a seed, it takes days, weeks, sometimes months before you see anything above the surface. But that doesn't mean nothing is happening. Progress often starts in silence. The real change is happening deep inside, in your habits, in your mindset, in your discipline. But if you stop just because you can't see it yet, you are walking away from everything you've built so far. Keep going. The work is doing more than you can see. And if you stay with it long enough, it will pay off. Most people quit right before the breakthrough. They were close, but they let frustration win. You don't have to be the fastest. You just have to be the one who refuses to disappear. Every time you show up, you're proving to yourself that you're serious. Every time you stay committed, you're building trust in yourself. That trust becomes your strength. It helps you push through the slow days, the hard weeks, the quiet progress. Show up when it's tough, and you'll eventually reach the day where it all clicks, but only if you keep showing up. It's easy to stay motivated when results are coming, when people notice, when progress is obvious, when you feel momentum. That part feels good, but those are not the moments that define you. What defines you is what you do when no one is watching, when your progress feels stuck, when your effort goes unnoticed. If you can keep moving forward during those seasons, you'll separate yourself from the crowd. You'll grow while others are quitting. You'll build strength while others are waiting to feel good again. And that's what makes all the difference. Discipline means doing the right thing, even when it feels pointless. It's getting up early, even when yesterday didn't show results. It's sticking to your plan, even when you don't feel like it. It's repeating the work without constantly needing a reward. The truth is, most of the progress happens when no one sees it, not even you. Your habits are shaping you behind the scenes, and one day the results will show up, all at once. But that moment won't happen without hundreds of quiet, consistent days first. That's why showing up matters. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to do everything right, but you do need to be consistent. You need to build the habit of being dependable to your own goals. You need to prove to yourself that you can stay with something longer than a few days or weeks. Every time you stay with your routine, every time you choose effort over comfort, you build momentum. Even if it's small, that momentum starts to carry you through the tough days, and soon you realize quitting never actually helped anything. It's normal to feel tired. It's normal to wonder if it's working. But those thoughts are not a signal to stop. They're a test. That's the moment where your character grows. That's where the difference is made. Most people want comfort more than they want growth. But you're here for a reason. You want something more. And that means doing more. That means staying the course. When your emotions are pushing you to give up, that means working through the silence until the work starts speaking for itself. Progress is slow by nature. It's supposed to be. That's how it strengthens you. If it came easy, it wouldn't change you. But when it comes slowly, it builds patience, it teaches you focus, and it develops grit. These are the qualities that stay with you for life. You're not just building results, you're building a person, and that person will be ready for whatever comes next. So keep going, keep showing up, let the others give up, you stay steady. That's how you win. That's how you earn what most never will. Don't confuse slow with failure. Don't let a quiet week or a hard month fool you into thinking you're not moving forward. Every rep, every step, every discipline choice is building something. Maybe you don't see it yet, but if you quit now, you'll never get to see it. Stay the course. Let time do its work. Let effort add up. Keep showing up, not because it's easy, but because it's right. The ones who win are not the most talented. They're the most consistent. They stayed in the game long after others walked away. You will get whatever you want if you learn to outlast the doubt. The noise, the slow days, and the setbacks show up every single day, even when it's boring, even when it's frustrating, even when the results are nowhere to be seen. Because if you keep showing up, the day will come when everything you work for starts to show. And when it does, you'll know it didn't happen by luck. It happened because you refused to give up. That's how you win. That's how real success is earned. Keep going. Number 6, write your goal down and look at it daily. That's the first mistake. If you can't write your goal on paper, you don't have one. You have a vague thought. Writing it down makes it real. It takes the dream from your head and puts it in front of you. Now, it's not just a feeling, it's a commitment. When it stays in your mind, it gets lost in distractions. But when you put it on paper, you give it shape. You give it a place in your life that can't be ignored. Writing your goal down gives your mind direction. It gives your day a purpose. It reminds you what matters. Every time you read it, your thoughts get sharper. You stop wasting energy on things that don't help you. Stay focused on what moves you forward. It's not just a sentence, it's a trigger. It trains your mind to filter out the noise. It becomes a compass that guides your decisions. When your goal is clear and in front of you daily, you stop chasing distractions. You start building discipline. Looking at your goal daily helps you stay emotionally connected to it. The world will pull your attention in every direction, but your goal brings you back. It reminds you why you started. It helps you get back on track when life gets heavy. Some days you'll feel tired, lost, or even unmotivated. That's when the paper matters most. Seeing your goal right in front of you gives you a reason to keep moving. It gives you strength when your feelings get weak. And that's exactly when most people quit, when they forget what they were working toward. Writing your goal down also shows you how serious you are. If you're not willing to put it in words, you won't do the work. That's the truth. You don't get what you want just because you think about it. Once in a while, you get it by turning it into something solid, something you can see, something you can remind yourself of every single day. It doesn't matter how small or big the goal is. What matters is your commitment to it. And that starts with putting it in writing and keeping it where you can't ignore it. Every day that you look at your written goal, you send a message to your brain. You tell it, this is where we're going. That message starts to shape your thoughts, your habits, your reactions. Your brain starts looking for ways to move you closer to that target. Without realizing it, you begin to shift how you spend your time. You begin to adjust your actions to support that outcome. That's how real change starts. Not from motivation, but from focus. And focus comes from seeing your target daily until your actions match your intention. You can't improve what you ignore. And most people ignore their goals simply because they don't keep them in sight. They wake up and let the day decide what they do. But if your goal is the first thing you see in the morning, your day changes. You plan differently. You choose your time more carefully. You say no to things that don't help. Your energy gets directed instead of scattered. That's the power of clarity. That's the benefit of reminding yourself every day what you're really working for. Writing your goal doesn't just help you focus. It holds you accountable. Every time you look at it, you're reminded of your responsibility. It's easy to drift when no one's watching. It doesn't lie if you haven't made progress. It shows if you've been distracted. You'll feel it. That discomfort is useful. It pushes you to get back in alignment. It keeps you honest. That's how you stay committed. Not with emotion, but with structure. And the structure starts with that simple act of writing it down. Success is not a result of big moments. It's a result of daily choices. And your written goal helps you make those choices wisely. You don't need to guess where to put your effort. You don't need to wonder what matters most. It's right in front of you every day. That kind of clarity creates momentum. It helps you build consistency, and consistency is what leads to results. Not luck, not waiting, not hoping, but showing up day after day, led by a goal you've chosen and committed to with your full attention. If you write your goal down and look at it every day, something powerful happens. It becomes part of you. It's no longer just an idea, it becomes a standard. You stop hoping for success and start expecting it. The more you stop doubting yourself and start acting like it's already on the way, that belief is everything. It changes how you speak, how you carry yourself, how you face problems. And all of that begins with one simple habit: putting your goal in writing and making it the center of your focus every single day. You can't get whatever you want by being casual about your goal. You get it by being clear, consistent, and committed. Writing your goal down and looking at it daily is not just a tip, it's a tool. It's a way to train your mind, direct your actions, and stay connected to your vision. If you take it seriously, it will change your decisions. It will change your discipline, and in time it will change your life. So take the time, write it down, keep it in front of you, and let that goal pull the best out of you every day. Number 7, build daily discipline that forces consistent progress forward. If you want to get whatever you want, you need to stop depending on motivation and start building daily discipline. Motivation comes and goes. Some days you feel it, most days you don't. But discipline doesn't wait for a mood. It's a decision you make every day, no matter how you feel. It's waking up and doing what needs to be done, even when you're tired, busy, or distracted. That's how consistent progress is made. Discipline puts you in control. It takes you out of the emotional cycle and into a system of action that never stops moving forward. Discipline gives structure to your life. It takes the guesswork out of your day. Instead of asking yourself what you feel like doing, you already know. You've built a routine. You follow it. That structure makes you efficient. It removes the space for delay or distraction. When you practice discipline daily, your results stop depending on luck. You no longer wait for the right moment. You create it one action at a time, 1 hour at a time. And before you know it, your effort turns into real progress that keeps building step after step. Most people stay stuck because they only act when they feel ready. That's why their progress is random. They push hard for a few days, then disappear for weeks. That cycle kills growth. Discipline breaks that pattern. It keeps you steady. It builds pressure in the right direction. You don't fall behind when you're consistent. Even when the pace is slow, you're still moving, and that steady movement builds momentum. Once you feel momentum, everything changes. It becomes easier to keep going, not because it's less work, but because you've trained yourself to keep showing up. Discipline also teaches you who you really are. When you stick to something hard, when you follow through, even when no one is watching, you start building trust in yourself. That trust becomes your foundation. It makes you stronger, more focused, and more determined. You no longer need outside praise. You stop chasing shortcuts. You start working with purpose. That inner strength can't be bought. It's built with small choices made daily without excuses. The kind of choices most people skip because they don't see instant results. But the results are coming for those who stay consistent. You can't build anything great on random habits. You need daily discipline to create lasting success. That means planning your time. That means doing the boring work. That means saying no to what feels easy so you can say yes to what moves you forward. It's not exciting at first, but it's effective. Discipline is not about being perfect. It's about being reliable. Can you count on yourself to do what needs to be done? That's the question. If the answer is yes, you're already ahead of most people. If not, it's time to change that. Starting today, every successful person you admire follows a daily system. They don't rely on chance. They use discipline to create their results. They don't wait for inspiration. They do the work, whether they feel inspired or not. That's what makes the difference. That's what builds progress that lasts. You have the same 24 hours, but what you do with them depends on your discipline. You can waste them in comfort, or you can use them for progress. Every hour is a vote, and if you keep voting for growth, your life will change. Guaranteed. Discipline is a decision, not a feeling. You decide to keep going. You decide to keep working. You decide to show up when it's hard. Those decisions shape your future. They sharpen your focus. They strengthen your habits. And over time, they shape the life you want. It doesn't happen in a week. It happens day after day when you stay locked in on your priorities. That's how people rise, not with big moves once in a while, but with steady action repeated again and again. That's what separates the committed from the casual. When you have daily discipline, you don't need to be perfect. You just need to be consistent. You need to be clear about what matters. And you need to protect your time from things that don't. That means turning off distractions. That means getting uncomfortable. That means following through on your plans. And the more you do that, the easier it gets. You don't think about it. You just do it. It becomes who you are. Discipline turns into identity, and once it becomes part of you, it drives every area of your life. Progress without discipline doesn't last. It fades. But progress built on daily action stays. That kind of progress sticks. It becomes part of your routine. It becomes something you depend on. And when other people are losing momentum, you're still moving. You're still building. You're still getting closer to your goal. Not because you're more talented, but because you're more disciplined. You've made the choice to treat your goals seriously. And that choice keeps pushing you forward. That's how success is built, with effort. You repeat, not with effort. You restart. You can get whatever you want, but only if you're willing to work for it every single day. Not once in a while, not when it's convenient, but daily. You need to build discipline that keeps your progress alive even when no one is watching. You need to stay focused on the process, not just the outcome. And when you do that, the results will follow, not because of magic, but because of hard work done consistently over time. That's the real formula. That's the real power. And it all begins with one decision: to be disciplined today. Number 8, prove through action that you are ready to receive. You say you want something, but the real question is, are you acting like it? Most people speak about success, but very few prove they're ready for it. Talking is easy. Wishing is easy. But nothing changes until you take action that matches the level of what you say you want. Life doesn't respond to talk. It responds to movement. If your actions are weak, your results will be too. If you want to receive something big, you need to show through your behavior that you're prepared to handle it. Work for it and protect it. You don't attract what you want just because you ask. You attract what you're prepared for. The opportunity comes when your habits show you're serious. If your life is still full of procrastination, if your effort is low, if your discipline is inconsistent, you're not ready, and life knows it. Success doesn't land in the hands of people who hope. It lands in the hands of those who are ready to manage the pressure, the responsibility, and the standard that comes with it. If you want it, prove it. Not by saying more, but by doing more. Preparation is the proof. When you take action before the reward, when you do the work without guarantees, that's what moves things. That's what shifts life in your favor. Every action you take is a signal. It tells life you're ready. If you skip days, make excuses, or wait for things to get easier, the message you send is that you're not prepared. You can't receive something great if you're still acting casual. Great things require a different level of behavior, mindset, and energy. You get rewarded for what you show, not for what you say. You can set big goals, talk about your dreams, even write them down, but none of it matters if your actions don't support them. When your behavior and your words don't match, your life stays stuck. If you want to move forward, your daily effort has to align with your expectations. People expect results without effort. They expect change without sacrifice. But it doesn't work that way. You must rise to the level of what you want before it ever shows up in your hands. You'll never be handed something you haven't proven you can handle. That's the filter life uses. If you want more, you have to become more. If you want better, you have to live better. That means showing up with consistency. That means doing hard things. That means holding yourself to a standard, even when no one is checking. When your life shows structure, your actions show discipline, and your decisions show responsibility, that's when the opportunity comes. That's when life says you're ready now, but not a second before. Most people wait for signs. They wait for things to get easier. They wait for someone to believe in them. That's not how this works. You don't wait to be ready. You act like you're ready before the result shows up. That's how the result finds you. Waiting is a trap. It keeps people stuck in cycles of thinking and planning without ever doing. But the ones who win are the ones who act, even if they're not perfect, even if they don't feel ready. Their action makes them ready. That's the shift that changes everything. Every time you act with intention, you build proof. You build evidence that you're not hoping for change. You're not hoping for change. You're creating it. That kind of energy moves things. It influences people. It builds trust in yourself. It shows you're dependable. And over time, those small actions add up. They become your story. They become your identity. And that identity attracts better situations, stronger results, and more confidence. All because you stopped talking and started proving. The more you prove, the more prepared you become. And the more prepared you become, the more you receive. If you don't show up fully, life won't give you full rewards. That's a hard truth. Most ignore, they do the bare minimum and expect a breakthrough, but life doesn't work like that. Life rewards those who over-deliver, who stay focused when it's boring, who follow through even when it's uncomfortable. If you want big things, you have to give big effort, and you have to give that effort now. Not when conditions are perfect, not when you feel motivated. The clock is always ticking, and you show you're ready by using your time. While there are no shortcuts to readiness, there's no secret to success that skips action. You can't trick your way into results. You build them, you earn them, and it starts the moment you decide to act like what you want already belongs to you. That's not arrogance, that's alignment. When your actions match your vision, you stop delaying progress, you stop getting in your own way. You take full control of your effort, and that effort reshapes your environment, your confidence, and your outcome. But you must move like you mean it, every single day. You will get whatever you want if you prove you're ready to receive it. That proof is in your habits, it's in your focus, it's in your ability to stay committed. Without applause, don't say it, show it. Don't hope, build, don't wish, work. Every step you take with purpose is a signal to life that you're serious, that you're not waiting, that you're not hoping for luck, that you've already decided to earn it. If you want something, don't just want it quietly. Live in a way that makes it impossible to ignore. That's how it comes to you. Number 9, wake up early and get ahead every day. If you want to get ahead in life, you have to stop wasting the first few hours of your day. Waking up early is not just about starting before others, it's about setting the tone. It gives you space to think clearly, plan your time, and get moving before the world starts pulling at you. When you wake up late, you start behind. Your day feels rushed. You're already reacting instead of leading. But when you get up early, you're in charge. You take control before anyone else has the chance to distract or delay you from what matters. Your mind is sharpest in the early hours. That's when you have the most control over your thoughts. There's less noise, fewer distractions, and more clarity. When you use those hours, right, the rest of your day gets easier. You're not scrambling, you're not confused. You've already made decisions, done the hard things, and built momentum. People who wake up early are often more focused, more calm, and more productive. Not because they have more time, but because they use time better. They've learned that discipline in the morning creates success all day long. The morning gives you a chance to get ahead, not just in tasks, but in mindset. Most people start their day with their phone messages or the news that sets their mind on other people's priorities. But when you wake up early with purpose, you set your own tone. You move your body, organize your thoughts, and plan with intention. You decide what matters, and then you act on it. You don't rush through it. You don't wait for motivation. You take full ownership of your energy from the moment the day begins. Success doesn't belong to the talented. It belongs to the prepared. Waking up early is one way to prepare. It shows you respect time. It shows you're serious about growth. It builds habits that lead to consistency. When you start early, you remove the excuse of not having enough time. You realize time was always there. You are just giving it to the wrong things. You can read, you can plan, you can train, you can work. Those early hours are yours, and how you use them will show in the results you create over time. You build confidence when you keep a promise to yourself. Waking up early is a daily promise. It's saying, I'm willing to do what's hard now so I can live better later. That mindset separates people who succeed from people who struggle. It's not about being a morning person. It's about being the kind of person who does what needs to be done, even when it's uncomfortable. When you wake up early, you beat the part of yourself that wants comfort. That alone gives you an edge. It sharpens your discipline before the day even starts. You don't have to do everything in the morning, just the right things. A strong start makes room for better decisions. You'll be less reactive, less rushed, and more intentional. You won't start your day behind schedule or apologizing for lateness. Instead, you'll be clear, steady, and one step ahead. And that one step adds up over time. It becomes 5 steps, 10 steps, a whole level above where you started. You get ahead not just by speed, but by consistency. Waking up early gives you more chances to stay on track with fewer distractions. Most people don't get what they want because they never find the time to focus. But time is not the problem, focus is. And the morning is the best time to train your focus. There are no meetings, no texts, no noise, just you and the day ahead. That's your window. That's where your best thinking can happen. That's when you can look at your life and ask what needs to change and actually hear the answer. The quiet of the morning gives you truth, and from that truth you can build action that actually leads somewhere. Discipline in the morning teaches you control. When you control your time, you control your results. You stop waiting for motivation. You stop chasing energy. You stop starting your day on other people's terms. Waking up early is a choice. It's not natural for most people, but that's the point. Doing what's uncomfortable first thing in the morning trains your mind to handle pressure. It shows you that growth isn't about ease, it's about decisions. You make the decision to get up, and that decision follows you all day long in the form of self-respect. You never regret waking up early. You might feel tired for a few minutes, but the pride and control you feel afterward outweigh that completely. Every time you do it, you're telling yourself, my goal matters, my time matters, my future matters. That kind of message sinks deep. It builds self-worth, it builds discipline, it builds results, and those results give you a different level of confidence, not because you're lucky, but because you earned it. You showed up when it was hard. You kept showing up, and your life started moving because of it. If you want to get whatever you want, start by getting up with purpose. Don't wait for the world to push you. Get up before the noise. Make decisions before the distractions. Move your body, focus your thoughts, and take small actions that move you forward. Do this every day, and soon you'll be ahead of the old. You, the one who used to snooze, delay, and rush. Your success starts before the sun rises. That's where momentum is built. That's where winners separate themselves, not because they had more time, but because they respected time more. Number 10, act like your future depends on today. If you truly want to get whatever you want, you must begin treating today like it matters more than anything else. Most people think their future is shaped by some big event down the road, but the truth is your future is built right here. And the choices you make today, you don't become successful overnight. You build success one decision at a time. Every hour, every task, every choice adds up. If you waste today, you weaken your foundation. If you use today wisely, you give yourself real power. What you do today creates what you'll live tomorrow. You don't get ahead by doing everything perfectly. You get ahead by being serious about each day. That means showing up, even when you don't feel like it. That means taking care of the small things that others ignore. That means putting your energy where it actually counts. Most people push things off, thinking they'll catch up later, but later never works without now. If you don't value today, your future won't value you. Time doesn't wait, either you use it or you lose it. That's the reality. Your future depends on whether you act like today matters. Look around at your life. Everything good or bad in it is a result of how you've treated your past days. That's how life works. It pays you based on how seriously you've taken your time. And if you're not happy with what you have right now, the only way to change it is to act differently today, not tomorrow, not next week, today. If your future self could talk to you right now, it would beg you to stop wasting time. It would tell you to treat today like it's the only chance you've got, because it is. When you treat today like it matters, you start showing up differently. You don't skip your routine. You don't wait for motivation. You don't let small excuses steal big time. You start thinking clearly. You start choosing better. You make decisions that help you move forward, not decisions that give you a quick escape. You take care of your health, your money, your habits, your goals, not because you feel like it, but because you respect your future. That's the shift that changes everything. You start living with purpose instead of drifting through the day. There are no guarantees about tomorrow. You don't know what it will bring, but you have full control of how you show up today, and that's more than enough. When you use this day, well, you create something solid. You create progress, you create momentum. Most people waste days and wonder why their life isn't changing. The answer is simple. If you treat today like it's disposable, your future becomes uncertain. But if you treat today like it's the foundation of something important, your future becomes strong. You build confidence by earning it one action at a time. If you really mean it, when you say you want to change, then act like it now. Take responsibility, remove distractions, show discipline. Stop waiting for permission to move forward. You're not stuck because life is unfair. You're stuck because you've delayed too long, and that stops today. From now on, treat every day like it counts, because it does. No one is coming to rescue your time. No one is going to force you to be great. That's your job. The people who build a better future are the ones who take daily ownership. When you take today seriously, you develop stronger habits. You stop being reactive and start being intentional. You stop complaining and start fixing you. Stop explaining and start executing. That's how your future shifts. It's not about what you wish for. It's about what you're doing right now while no one's watching, while no one's clapping. Success shows up for the people who do the work in silence, the ones who take small steps every day, the ones who understand that today isn't just another day, it's the most important one you'll ever have. Living like your future depends on today doesn't mean you rush through life. It means you pay attention. It means you stop wasting moments on things that don't matter. It means you give energy to what builds you instead of what breaks you. That's not pressure. That's purpose. When you understand that your actions today create the life you'll live later, you stop being careless, you stop settling, you stop living on autopilot, and you start making real progress that you can feel. One decision, 1 hour, 1 day at a time. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be present. You just have to ask yourself, what can I do today that helps my future, and then go do it. The answer won't always be big or impressive. Sometimes it's reading, sometimes it's saving money, sometimes it's cleaning up your space or showing up to your routine. But each time you do that, you're proving that you're serious. And when you do it long enough, life responds not with luck, but with results. Your future rewards your present discipline, not your past. Excuses. You can have whatever you want if you start acting like your future depends on what you do today, because it does. Your time is your responsibility. Your choices are your tools. What you build or destroy is up to you. So don't waste today waiting for motivation. Don't waste it thinking about how hard it is. Use it, move, build, progress. Decide now that you'll treat this day with respect, because it's the only one that's in your hands. The future you want starts today, not tomorrow, not someday. It starts right here, and it starts with you. Now you know the truth. Getting whatever you want isn't about luck, talent, or waiting for the right moment. It's about what you do every single day. It's about building discipline, ignoring distractions, cutting out excuses, and proving through action that you're ready. If you stay focused, stay consistent, and stop waiting for someone to push you, your results will come. The choice is yours. Now you can go back to doing what's easy, or you can step up and live like your future depends on what you do today, because it does. So take this message seriously. Look at your life, look at your habits, look at your time, and ask yourself, am I living like someone who deserves what I want? If not, change it. Start now. Start today. Thank you for watching. Now go do the work and make your future something you're proud of.